Best of r/Tales from Retail episode 58. This happened to a couple of my colleagues, but when I heard the story I thought it would be perfect to retell here. I work in a lingerie store that caters to larger cup sizes. We do fittings and people often leave with a drastically different bra size. We quite often suggest to customers that they wear their new bras at home for an hour or two to make sure they're happy with them, and if they find it's not comfortable they can bring it back to us. Normally this is something that works out nicely. However, one of my colleagues was working with a lady for quite a long time. She was super needy and indecisive, so my colleague threw in the maybe if you're unsure you could try it at home for a couple of hours and if you change your mind you can bring it back. The lady decided this was a good idea and off she went. She made a reappearance about a month later. She had decided that she didn't like the bra and wanted to return it. Fine. Some people can't get back to our store for a few weeks because they travel in from further away. My manager happened to be the one processing the return, so she starts looking the lady up on our system. Purchases are all saved under a customer profile. She couldn't find the purchase. She wasn't concerned. Some people don't want to give us their details. She asked the lady if she still has her receipt. Nope, no receipt. She even searches through the purchases made the day the lady came in. No luck. Eventually she figures out that when the lady was told try it at home she heard, "Please, take this bra home for free and give it a try," so she put the bra in her bag and left without paying for it. She'd had this bra for a month for free. Apparently it didn't cross her mind that if she was happy with the bra, she'd have no incentive to come back and pay for it. Plus, as she got it for free, why bother returning it? Why not just chuck it on eBay and make £30 on it instead? She was also utterly unfazed by the fact that she had inadvertently stolen a bra and was totally unapologetic. So now, thanks to her, we make sure to include in some way that if they want to try it at home they have to actually pay for it first. Thank you. Next. This is a bit long, TL. Doctor, at the end. I work at a garden center as a cashier. We currently have bulbs for 70% off and selected nursery and perennial plants up to 75% off. I had a couple go through my till. They had a bunch of discounted plants and bulbs. I come to a couple of plants that didn't have the discounted tag on them. The couple themselves told me they weren't discounted. I decided to check with nursery to make sure. Sure enough, they weren't discounted. They accepted it and I rang the plants up. I finish their transaction. They pay and leave. About 10 minutes later they're back and they're screaming mad. They're claiming they didn't get their full discount. They want me to do a full refund and start again. As I was the only cashier and they had probably over 50 items and my line was growing, I called over someone who knew how to do cash to help them. They proceed to yell at her, so I called over a manager to help her. The whole time the husband was yelling at my co-workers, pulling numbers out of his ass. He claimed everything was 80% off, no such discount exists, and that the two plants were part of the discounted plants despite me calling in front of them. They themselves told me they weren't discounted, and apparently were told by the nursery staff they weren't. I don't know exactly what my co-workers did for them, but they were there for a very long time. Finally they leave and I think that's the last I'll see of them. A couple of days later the wife comes back in. She asks me if anyone returned a bag of bulbs. Apparently they lost all their bulbs they had bought that day, at least 20 or more packages. She kept on saying they were on the bottom of the cart they had as if it was our fault they were missing. I got the feeling she expected me to say go pick out what you lost, we'll replace them for you, no cost. Nope, I just told her nothing was returned. All carts are collected and chained up at the end of the day. If anything was left behind, it would have been found. That's when she said that maybe it's in her garage. She didn't check. Really? You don't make sure it's not in your possession before you come basically accusing us of having them? SMH. She walked away with nothing while I got to smile to myself. Sometimes you get to see karma in action. Dated to clarify, packages of bulbs, not bags. TL. Doctor, couple demands a better discount, loses items after purchasing them, comes back to replace them. Thank you. Next. Hi, first time posting. Some backstory. I work part-time for a charity shop in a nearby village. It's fun to work here, but the bane of my existence is our deal across all stores. If you are part of a very specific housing association or claim housing benefits, then you get a discount. Most people try to go for the deal but never bring proof. One of these moments really stuck out. One day a customer and his wife come in to return a fridge they bought. As I was sorting out the refund with the husband, the wife was looking around the store. She ends up spotting a sofa bed in the front and calls her husband over. After a 30-second look over, the husband goes, "Husband, is this a sofa bed?" Me, after spending the same amount of time checking, "Yes, it is, sir." He inspects it a few more times before turning to his wife. "Husband, that's good, and we can get discount on that, love." I quickly interject. Me, "Yeah, you can, but you need to be part of X or claiming Y for the discount." Husband, "Oh yeah, I am." Me, "Cool, I just need proof and we can go from there." As soon as I said that, his tone completely changed. He went from Jekyll to Hyde in seconds. Husband, "What do you mean I need proof?" Me, "I need proof of either one. Otherwise anyone could get the discount." He ends up going into a tirade of, "I go to your insert town store all the time and never needed proof. And, I can't believe this, I don't understand why," and so on and so forth. Every time he stopped, I just replied with different variations of, "Cool, I still need proof though." Eventually he stopped, took his refund and his wife and left the shop. Sadly, that's not the end. He sits in his white van for what felt like hours. I was sat wondering what he was doing. Luckily for me, I didn't have to wait too long. I end up getting a call from one of the other shops. Basically, the guy called the shop he frequents to complain about me and how I wasn't giving him the discount. The coworker on the other end understood where I was coming from and just went, "You did nothing wrong, but just so you know, here's a tenant of X." After that call he sat in his van for ages and then drove off, never to be seen again. I guess he didn't want his sofa bed after all. TLDR, guy wanted a sofa bed but didn't have proof for a discount. Goes into a tirade about it and call another shop to complain about me. Thank you. Next. Hey, everybody. This little story is about 3-4 years old, so conversations won't be word for word anymore, but I'll do my best to describe everything as it was. TLDR at the bottom, if anyone wants. I worked a seasonal cashier/stocking job at one of the many cheap dollar type stores here in the US. This was my first actual job, but I had been doing quite well despite my really bad anxiety. This took place a few days before Thanksgiving. Fresh off of my usual 15-minute break for the day, I walked out of the back room and made my way to clock back in to finish my shift. I stop when I hear an older lady, who I will refer to as customer/C, trying to get my attention. I let her know that I need to clock in, as I just got off my break, but I will be glad to help her in just a moment. Knowing my management, I would have gotten in trouble if helping her before clocking in, as they are very precise and picky about times. I clock in and make my way back to where C had been, but I don't see her anywhere. I look around the nearby aisles to no avail, so I head back to my register as my co-worker needs to go back to stocking shelves. All seemed fine and things were going smoothly until C suddenly enters my line. I give my usual customer service smile as I start to ring up her items. Me, "Hello, did you find everything alright today?" C didn't hesitate to immediately start barking at me. C, "No, it's bad enough you clearly don't know how to do your job. You just left me there. You're supposed to be about customer service. Who trained you? Why can't you do your job?" Me, "I'm really sorry, mom. I had to clock in before helping a customer on the sales floor. It's just part of our policy." I should note, I was actually starting to choke up here. I probably got a bit red in the face too. With my anxiety, I easily crumble under confrontations like this. She almost looked as if she was even standing taller, as if she thought her putting me down was a good thing. C, "Well, they need to retrain you. I came here looking for black serving plates for my Thanksgiving dinner. You have none. Is that the only place for party plates?" She vaguely motions towards the back of the store. Me, "Yes, mom, and we just don't carry any black serving plates. I'm sorry. I could double check with my manager in case I'm wrong, if you'd like." C tapped her card against the counter as I finished ringing up her items, giving me this death glare. C. No, no, my Thanksgiving theme will just have to be ruined. I get the last of her items bagged, watching the register screen as I do my part of C's car transaction, just trying to keep myself together while apologizing again, but she wasn't done yet. I glanced to my line, and the two people who had now gathered behind her are having none of her attitude, but they say nothing. C's face starts getting red and she even crosses her arms in a huff. C. Another thing. Do you have any large party gift bags for adults? Me. I'm sorry, I'm not sure what you mean. C. You have gift bags themed for kids. Why not adults? Where can I find some? Me. I'm sorry mom. I've never seen any bags like you're describing, and we only carry what we currently have back there. C. Well, you should tell your manager. There's absolutely no reason why you can't have any decorated bags themed for adults. Me. I can call my manager down if you'd like to tell them. C. No. You need to do it. Call them. As I hand C her receipt, I give in and call for my manager over the intercom. A co-worker ends up coming down and tells me my manager is in a conference call in the office, so she's unavailable. I tell C that I'll make note of her suggestion and she storms off with her full cart in a huff. Thankfully, my next two customers were amazing. They had heard a majority of what C was saying and how she was treating me, and noticed that I was getting worked up with my anxiety. They talked me down and told me I handled the situation really well, and we had a laugh about it before they left. Those two customers really made my day. TLDR. Customer gets mad at me for doing my job, and demands black serving platters and other items we just don't sell, and, to my knowledge, still don't. Thank you. Next. Cashier at a large chain supermarket, etc. I'm ringing customers up when someone who works at my store brings up some items, including a half ham and a spiral ham. I tell her her total and after a moment she tells me the hams are wrong. They should be $1. I stare for a moment. P per pound? Nope. $1 each. She calls for a couple people to find someone with a TC70, a handheld scanner, because it said on there they were $1. An associate comes up, scans them, it says $1 per pound. Oh, I don't want them then. I took on my dreamy I'm only pretending to not be astounded because JFC voice. She seemed to pick up on it, as I told her no problem, then asked my manager if anyone was available to put them up. Naturally, since it's night shift only Casper is available. I'll put them back, it's not that big a deal. Gee, thanks. Me and manager were a bit snarky and hyped Casper up. Great associate he is. She repeated that it's not a big deal and took them back. Probably. A little later, another associate comes back with 5 hams. Tells me they're $1. I point out on the ham where it says per pound. Originally they're 2 something, so it is a good deal. The sign says, you know damn well you ain't getting a whole ass ham for $1. But she was nicer about it and ended up getting 2. As I put the other 3 away she shows me where it said so. At the time it said $1 per LB and the associate said she had looked at the smaller paper sign beside the large black one. Okay, manager later said one of the other managers had flitted by and added per LB, but that same manager pointed out that not all the meat had per LB and you'd think common sense would kick in. Thank you. Next. Not retail but thought it suited this r/end of the day. Phone rings. I say hello. Bio, and am cut off by a very fast talking woman. Look, I'm with a few students at the residence halls here and there is a problem with the rooms. And would have kept hammering on but I managed to get in between breaths. I work in a hospital testing lab in a small university town, so nothing to do with student rooms. Me, sorry, I'm going to stop you there. You've got the wrong number. Aghast number. I have not got the wrong number. I was transferred from the residence hall reception to this number. I did not directly call this number, so if you could politely not accuse me. Absolutely stunned that someone could be so offended and self-righteous over something so petty. Thank you. Next. I used to work at a chain grocery store back in summer 2017, but this situation did not happen to me. I worked at a register kind of far from the exit, while the incident happened close to the exit. My brother witnessed it, because he worked as a farm tech at the pharmacy and he could see the view of the exit area from his angle. Apparently this Karen in her 40s had a cart filled up with a ton of stuff and told the security guard, Can I just leave with my groceries? But I am too sick to pay for my groceries. And she walks out the store without paying. The police were called, but I believe she was caught. I kind of had an idea that something happened, because the security guard came up to every cashier and told them to remember to place a paid sticker on every unbagged item, although it is always enforced. Then, I noticed that a cop came in my line to buy a snack.